What is going on, guys? Welcome to the BARRA update video. If you haven't seen, I've got 3 parts of my 350Z Rocket Money drift car, getting a BARRA turbo and a T56, chucking the guts for it for more horsepower and actually triple the torque the VQ ever made. So I'm just going to quickly start off with this intro is probably going to be a long intro, for the simple reason is that there's probably 3 or 4 events I'm going to be talking about, and I've recorded nothing of it. They're the first 4 events of the BARRA turbo swap in the drift car and how bad it went. It was bad. Not like stuff breaking, but just the little small things we just could not work out. So yeah, let's jump straight into the first event and what happened. So the first event being, let's call it the maiden voyage of the BARRA turbo in the 350Z. It went for 4 laps. It was a Matsuri, for those that don't know, a 2-day event down the Collier Motorplex. And yeah, like I just said, the car lasted for 4 laps and I think we struggled to finish the 4th lap. So, a few issues. First issue was, everyone told me I had to get the car tuned. They were right. For those that don't know, I did buy a running registered BA XR6 Turbo Ute, thinking I could take that out, chuck it in, hit the track and melt tyres. That wasn't the case. Few issues, obviously the tune. We shortened the intercooler piping massively. Probably should have realised straight away that there was going to be issues, and unfortunately we weren't able to use the same fuel pump that the car was tuned with, so I thought I was able to get away with the fuel pump I had in the Z, but yeah, that worked out. We couldn't do that, so yeah, we weren't able to get any testing done. We weren't able to really hit boost, because with the second issue we're running into, the car kept going into limp mode. Yeah, like I said, the car was running perfect when we brought it, and now as soon as I get literally above 4,000 RPM, she was going limp mode and sometimes even stalling. So that was event 1. Not the outcome we wanted, but yeah, so what we did after that was I actually went and seen a tuner who specialises in BARRA turbos here in Perth, Dark Horse Performance. I said to him, this and that, BARRA turbo, drift car, blah 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 blah. Yeah, straight away, he's not a fan of working on conversion cars. He's more of just a, you know, already have a turbo, he put some parts on, he tuned it. So I'm very grateful he actually took Z sled on, and he tuned the car, so it made, I think, about 390 horsepower at this time. This was the first time hitting the dyno, by the way. So we got it tuned, and being a stock turbo, we were getting a little bit of what's the word, you know, the boost pressure wasn't controllable. He wasn't able to control it. At a high RPM, it was boost creeping to the point where he didn't like it, so he took some throttle out of the top end to have like a really soft, a soft limiter, I should say. We thought we were good to go. You know, we kind of everything dialed in. While he had it, sorry, he also did a fuel pump. So he tuned it all, and we thought, yeah, we're ready to go. So that brings me to round 2. Alright, so that brings us to round 2, event number 2, and that was D1 WA round 1 competition. I was not doing it for the competition, I was doing it for the 3-hour practice in the morning, and thankfully the track was Perth Motorplex, which is literally 20 minutes from home for me, so I thought it was a perfect opportunity to do some practicing with the BARRA turbo, and it was a waste of time. Yes. So, car was still stalling, going into limp mode. Couldn't work out why. We were getting pretty pissed. Everyone kept saying, look, there might be something still wrong with the tune. I kind of knew, like, there's nothing wrong with the tune, but I was feeling like there was something wrong with the settings somewhere. So for those that don't know, the BARRA actually run, the vehicle speed source is ran through the ABS module in the Falcons. So because, well, that's how it works. But now I've taken that out and put it into a Z, there's no speed source, so I thought I'd disable the speed source correctly, but it didn't. That's where massive thanks to Bill Hooton from Hooton Harnesses. Sent him a message, told him my problems. He said this vehicle speed source is not disabled correctly, and within a couple of hours he resent me my tune back. And yeah, we think that's the problem, we think it's sorted. So, you know, that's 2 events down and I still haven't melted tyres, and I thought that's what I was going to do. Event number 3. This is a Drift West practice night back at Barbagallo. Well, not back at Barbagallo, this is the first event at Barbagallo with the BARRA Turbo. And yes, the car now with the vehicle speed source taken out stopped stalling. Stopped going limp mode. But because of the way I had to set up the fuel system, the Venturi pump wasn't working for the passenger side of the fuel tank, because the 350Z fuel tank's got this hump in the center for the drive shaft to go through. It was only picking up from the driver's side. So it was getting low and I was drifting to the left and the fuel would slosh over to the passenger side. No fuel on the driver's side, it would stop. Easy fix, fill it up again. And that's what we did. Made sure the car was full, but I still wasn't able to go through a set of tyres, and that is because I was having boost problems. The way that Dark Horse had to set up my turbo and all that, the boost kept spiking and I wasn't really a big fan of that. So that was literally event 3 cancelled because I wanted to protect the motor. Event 4, back at another Drift West practice night. Thankfully they had a lot last year. Here's what happened. New turbo, we were running a Pulsar turbo, can't remember what it is. Pulsar turbo with a turbo smart external wastegate. We think all the problems are sorted, and I had the time of my life because I was actually able to put, I think, 8 runs down in total of infield. I had so much fun. The car was actually working somewhat. So I will put some videos right here of the car drifting, and yes, my family do get excited because it has been 4 events and a lot of time off from drifting from not drifting, so enjoy the clips. She drifts, sounds amazing. I was so pumped, but still we're running into another issue: overheating. The Barra is a 4-litre monster straight 6. It's big, it's heavy, and it gets warm, really warm. Here's a picture of what the turbo looked like after one of those runs at Drift West. She got hot. So I was like, I don't care. It drifts. She was going good. And to the last lap. It was the last lap. Had no choice. I killed the clutch. Probably my second last run. I came back into the pits. My dad's like, I can smell clutch. I could smell the clutch inside the car. The person in my passenger seat said, dude, your clutch is smelling. I was just like, I'm just going to send it. And I did. I went one more. Cooked the clutch to the point where we struggled to actually get it on the trailer. But it was working and I was so flippin' happy. We finally got the car sorted. Even though I was overheating, easy fix. That's going to bring us to event number 5. Event number 5. Now this is the event I was really aiming for to make. You know, it was probably a really big event here in Western Australia, and that event is Driftability. This was my second time running the Driftability event, and when my mate who helped run it he said, look, we're running low on cars, if you can make it, please try and get there. And I knew I had to push really hard to get it there. So the few Drift West events I went to, I was really trying to test the car so I could really make Driftability. And we did. Brand new clutch, it was a twin plate. I was bedding it in, literally doing the figure 8s. Taking my first passenger out, doing the figure 8s was me bedding the clutch in. And I kind of went full send with it. It is what it is. Obviously, we were running into the overheating issues. To fix that, we took the front bumper off. I brought some universal hood vents from Not Scared Racing, chucked them on the hood, and then after every run, I dropped the passenger off, went back to the pits, grabbed a hose, and I'd soak the radiator into cool water, cool it down, and that worked. So I was happy with that. The Barra finally was running okay. You know, I made the event I wanted to make, Driftability, so that was a massive bonus. And yeah, they were kind of all the issues we were having with the drift car. And that's kind of going to bring me to the last event, which was Matsuri last year. So here's what happened. The Barra do be spicy at high speed. I'm just going to say that straight away, because compared to the VQ, you know, I'm doubled the horsepower, tripled the torque. The thing was insane, especially in the wet. So still having the overheating issues. It was a big track. It was literally the middle of winter here in Perth. It was freezing cold in the mornings and it was raining, so I thought, car can't get hurt. It did. So first round, I didn't have any cameras on the car. I wanted to get a feel for the car at a decent speed, and I loved it. You know, I literally just used a throttle to turn the car, if that makes sense. I will put some clips of the car now drifting before everything went south. So yeah, car does backies, it's fire, handles mint, but unfortunately with the location of my air filter, she sucked in a fair bit of water, and on one of the laps you see me kind of slip the clutch before we go into the turn one. Then after we do all the S's and drifting and I straighten up, I go to accelerate and the car has no power whatsoever. Straight back to the pits, and I was like, car's got no power, so we thought we'll just leave it for an hour or two. We did, and a few people came up and said they were having the same problems. They took their air filter off and water was coming out. I took my air filter off and I literally poured water out of the air filter. Yeah, I know it's not good. So we left it in a mate's caravan with a heater on to dry out overnight, and then that brings us to day 2 of Matsuri. Not a start we wanted. So did driver's briefing, went back to the car, started the car, let it warm up, put my head in, see the oil pressure, she was sitting good, put my head in again to see the oil pressure, and it was down to about 10 psi. So I flicked the off switch, kill switch as quick as I could, kind of got a bit panicky, popped our heads under the car, and there was a pool of oil under the car. I was pretty scared. First time that's really ever happened to me. But thankfully my mate who actually works for Ford, he was there helping out, working on the car. Massive shout out to Elijah. Cheers, bro. He said, let's jack the car up, start it and have a look. We did that, and the oil was literally just spraying out of the front main seal. I was pretty pissed, you know, it was a brand new seal kit, I'm not naming the company. So yeah, that was literally Matsuri done. Yeah, so here is a general update on the car right now as of literally when this video goes up, because I'm editing this video I think Tuesday and it should be up this weekend. So car, as you can probably tell, my shed's actually empty where the car usually will be, and that's because it's at Not Scared Racing right now. He's doing all the fabrication for a rear mount radiator, and he's also cutting my fuel tank in half, blanking it, and we're just going to have the pickup on the passenger side, so we're literally turning it into a fuel cell. Capacity goes from 75 litres to 40 litres. We're happy with that because that is literally the standard size of a fuel cell. It's in the perfect position for weight distribution through the whole car. So I thought that was a perfect idea. Pretty keen to see how that goes. As for the front main seal, I've got a genuine Ford back in there, and when I did start the car and test it and let it idle, no oil was coming out, holding pressure, and we're good. So that's literally it, guys. Haven't done any videos recently or lately because I haven't been able to record anything because the car's been broken for like a year with only a few events here and there. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, check out my other socials, Facebook, Instagram, in the description down below. Like the video if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video, whenever that will be. Most likely be a rear mount radiator update, so see you guys then.